Hello there everyone, this is Mark 3 and welcome back to Captain of Industry. Everything's fine, there's nothing wrong, nothing at all. I don't know what you're talking about. It's all peachy, it's all working perfectly. There can't be anything in this picturesque little scene here that might be an issue. Not at all. Well, you can probably guess, but yeah. Moving on now. Slightly forward, we have deforested some more. I have finished painting up over here. It's not quite built, missing a few bits and pieces. But I think actually getting all of it paved down and then painted a bit is... I do quite like how it's turned out using the paint, so I think I'm going to do more of that as we go on. It's missing the concrete barriers, of course, but such as it is. Though I've also supplemented the water production at the twin pumps with a battery of water collectors, as you can see quite here. It wasn't quite doing enough, so just a bit extra to help it out, really. Over here is a slight fixture as well. I have started digging up this way. Sadly, I left it far too late, and honestly there will be some issues with structural collapse as we keep digging our way up there. But the goal is to get over to this beach over here, where we have an oil patch, so you know, good place to go. And apart from that, there's not much to say, except I have prepared a little space here, which we'll get to in a moment, and my efforts of converting the ocean into buildable terrain is going fairly well, I think. They're making some significant progress. Anyways, I think that kind of sums it up. We've also unlocked a bunch of tech as we do. But, yeah. Let's see, what's my tech tree? There's my tech tree. So we've got desalination, we've got the power plants, we've got the advanced diesel, we've got cargo depots, upgraded storage. When did we get upgraded storage? I don't remember. Yeah. We've also just unlocked steel, and we're working towards construction, though I actually feel like I might want to hit... I might want to hit, actually, fertilizers, because I do need that. That's an ongoing issue. It's also 3 techs in. It would be easier to do than going for construction 3. I don't need 3 particularly right now. Let's go for that instead. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, so working towards that instead. There we go, said it properly. Okay, unity is low and getting lower. Food is almost gone. Population is pretty decent. Power supply is stable, but only for this brief snapshot, which is why I'm not pausing. There are a myriad of warnings going on over here. Fuel station out of fuel. Pickups are struggling to find destination. That's mostly pickups full of dirt, by the way. Because this was dirt before. I dug it up and replaced it with stone. I'm going to start putting dirt like over towards this area here pretty soon. Low food supply. I have been steadily importing food, but the existing 5 fields, even rotating between potatoes and veggies, are not keeping pace. And then there's this minor thing over here, which goes back to where I was at the start. Oil pump has no resources to extract. Yeah, slight problem. Very slight problem. Very, very slight problem. And it's, yeah, it's something that kind of needs addressing, must admit. So, yeah. I think my best course of action is going to be flat out, in interest of speed, going to scrap these guys out. I'll scrap out that there. Yep. Scrap those guys out. Put in a storage tank. Problem is I want to put it where the stuff is, you know. Actually, I'll pop it there. You're going to hold crude oil, which you're going to input to half as a priority. Yeah, priority 5 is actually good. That's really good. It is very important, that. I'll spend 0.1 to get rid of that. And the advantage, of course, of scrapping things out while building this stuff is it will also go ahead and actually get it all built up with the materials, you sort of do it just there. Just grab some materials from one of these deconstructions jobs, and then just slam it into one of the new constructions. So that will help it get slammed up in short order. But that is because we also have more stuff to do. So, yeah, moving on. There is a comment from last time, from Happy Hafer. So, I suggest you make your limestone entrance ramp at least 2 wide to help with the cave-in and avalanche issues you most likely be having there once you're a bit deeper in. Honestly, the issue is usually if I try to turn a corner with the pit. Though, honestly, my limestone supply is so excellent that they're only a few tiles in, and you see what the pit's looking like. It's producing a little bit of sand, but it's like, that's okay. The issues of like path being blocked, this happened over here as well when I was getting this ramp up here, was literally because it was turning a corner, and so it was collapsing back. Same thing was happening over here actually on this path. So you can see where I dug some out the side here, and that was like blocking off this area because I was digging off to the side. So it's like if you're working on a corner, that seems to be a lot harder to work with, while this one that's just dug straight down, that's had no problems at all. So actually that's not too bad. Yeah, so the next part is dealing with the experiment I did last time, which was digging holes. So a 2 deep hole counts as an ocean. That is shallower than I expected. Like you made sure for the test bit, I was expecting depth 3 or 4 to be that point. Yes, so was I actually. Or maybe even 5 if we're going for like a nice even-ish kind of number. But 2, yeah. 2 wasn't enough, but 3 wasn't just right, apparently. This will make a pond idea pretty reasonable to do if you need one in the future. Well, unless there's a high plateau, of course. The test has also shown that the ocean pit wall idea is potentially more dangerous to do, since only one tiny cave-in would instantly fill the whole map. Yeah, that's why, like, gotta remember, I'm doing all of this down to 1, because anything hitting 0 is enough for it to go in. But the cave-ins don't happen to material that's already in place. It only affects materials actually being stored. And if I was digging in behind it, I'd make sure that it's something like this, like something like stone would probably be best. Though, of course, the best absolute kappa would actually be slag, because that's the most cohesive material I've got so far. So slag would be great. Maybe a slag wall, fill it in with all the stuff, and then dig the rest of it out behind. That would actually hold up fairly well. Or, a better idea would actually be a slag outer ring, then back it up with a line of retaining walls to make sure that there's no chance at all that it's going to slip. And then use the retaining walls to properly back it on the seafront, because this game doesn't have like rising waves or tsunamis or anything like that, so that would actually keep it safe. In theory. That's probably the best way to go about it. But actually, the question is time, as we've had in the comments previously. Speaking of time, I should get on with this. I dug this out and replaced it with stone because this is going to be an industrial part, so I wanted to get the dirt out. I've stashed a whole bunch of dirt, but I had too much, so everything's backing up on dirt. I've been adding dirt to this pile here, which has caused some stability issues. It's also why there's patches of grass around the place. But that's because I want dirt for this area over here, which I've now figured out to have farms planted on it as soon as it gets to this far here, and I can start dumping dirt like further back. I just removed this part here to get this part laid in, and then I'll start working over there. Oh, I think that part needs to be dug down as well. Though, because of the ongoing like issue with fuel, I've actually been sending out coal for fuel, so any spare diggers, like the ones on this path here, the one that was actually working along here to even out this cliff face, I've sent them over to dig in the coal quarry just to get more coal out faster, so I can convert it via trade into diesel, but that is growing rapidly more expensive. So I need to get started on my next project immediately, which basically I've hit a soft lock point or close to it, being caused by everything starting to grind to a halt. But with this build area, I have kind of got things laid out to the point where I can do something about it. Kinda. Maybe sorta. I'm going to need to import some more fuel, that much I know. Should I try to position this to have a water extractor and a water dump next to it as well? I probably should. I mean, I built some extra space on it just to be sure. And since I plan to put a refinery down here, excuse me, if I'm going to put a refinery down here, I should plan that just so that it is actually viable and good to go. Because the other issue is my supply of construction materials is up there, but my iron supply is not. The smelters aren't keeping pace either. Not with the increased demand for maintenance, so that is an ongoing issue. I'm thinking of adding another smeltery line over here, but that's not quite as critical. Sorry, this is kind of like a stream of thought kind of one, this one, but it's like I kind of need to get this stuff sorted out now, or the game is going to soft lock. So it's got to be dealt with. Okay, there we go. That's the water intake and the dump to get rid of the desalinated water byproduct and whatever else may be produced by the eventual refinery, as well as that will allow us to pull in for water processing, as we did before, via the desalinators. Another around here somewhere. I'm just not quite sure where they are. Yeah, I'll find them. I'll find them when I need them, I think is probably the best thing to say about that one. Anyway, something else I have done, which is part of the reason my iron stockpile got massively depleted. You said it was high and then it suddenly fell off a cliff there. That is because I actually went and sent my ship out in an emergency trip. And that... Come on, my feet. Focus. You need to get things done. Oh, fun fact, by the way. You can't actually put this thing on a height 1. See there? It needs to be within a height and 2 to 5 specifically to work. So it can work up to a height 5, which is interesting. But height 2 is what we've got, so height 2 is what we're going to go with. But these are all yellow and concrete. We've got tons of concrete, we've got tons of yellow. Well, not tons of yellow, but we've got enough yellow. But more importantly, we can immediately put down a fluid handler, which is why I told it to arrange that over there on a higher input for getting crude oil. So we can get the basic refinery firing immediately as soon as we get this thing sorted out. Oops, I spent some Unity on that one. You know what, I'll send Unity on that one as well. In for a penny, in for a pound. I also tell this to get that sorted out as a priority. We're still in an urgent situation. I'll make that priority 5 too. I think I've got the fuel deposit here. Yeah, this is why there's a problem. Priority 6, because the fuel shortage is about to hit these guys. As you can see, the internal tanks on my diesel generators are running out, so everything's about to grind to a halt. But that needs to get like a tiny bit of fuel in it to feed the ship, because I do have a ship. That was the trip I mentioned. In fact, I'll tell you to empty that. Get that fuel out of there. Get it where we need it. My boat is fully charged. It can go. It can't go anywhere, but it can go. But first we need to get this thing sorted out. So, right, it's been a while since we've done one of these, but here we go. Yeah, it made a trip out with a whole boatload of iron to repair the single cheapest cargo ship we could get our hands on, which is now leaving. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. It's because we've only got one import site set out there, so it's already going off to go and grab some. So, good job, little boats. You're doing what I want you to do. Let's go back to the map, shall we? There we go. So, while I was trying to run this forward and figuring out what needed to getting the text and all that stuff, I did actually have the oil rig in operation. That's part of the reason why we're draining Unity slowly but surely. So this has actually got a whole bunch of products waiting to go. Stores 2,000 a pop at the moment. I can get another handler on there, and it'll bring in more oil. I should do that. Another fluid module. 50, we've got 65, that's fine. Dumping has run out of space, that's okay. I will tell you to go ahead and dump some more, though I can see some digging is going to be needed as well because we haven't actually dug out all of this terrain here. I was going to, but then we kind of had that entire problem of running out of material. Well, but yeah, there we go, that'll be fine. But at least I'll keep the stone trucks happy for the time being. Kind of odd how they like to go down to the bottom there when they could just dump it off the side up there. Ooh. Ocean access is blocked. I guess we hemmed in a bit too much on the trading dock. Okay. I need to find it. There it is. So the trading dock is complaining because it's so hemmed in it can no longer function. But I don't exactly have a place ready to go for it. Though, actually, as a temporary measure, it could go here, can't it? Interesting how that actually reserves the space for it to upgrade into a 4 space, even though I don't have the tech for that. Ah, here it comes. I'll save you. Come on. Give us that sweet, sweet oil. You have picked up... sadly, you left with 1 tank configured. So you only picked up 1 tank, but 440 is still a big shot in the arm for us at the moment. So that said, actually, are you going to flow? You're not flowing because the... Oh no, no. I thought for a moment that it wasn't going to flow, but it is flowing. It's just I dropped the speed down. Yeah, getting it flowing a bit better would require a unified storage point for it. Let's put that there, I suppose. Although, we've got to remember, our pipes are not up to this just yet. I don't think. Actually, wait, didn't we... establish that it was per thing? That's 110 out of 60. Yeah, so just putting a tank on the end here is a cheap and cheerful solution to it. We can afford it, so that's no problem. The Unity's continuing to drop though, that's also an ongoing... Why are you complaining about? Oh, you're trying to go up the ramp, never mind. There it goes. And with that, we'll start to get some fuel back. Just in time too. Things are about to run out really badly. Look, that one's empty, that one's almost, that one's almost, that one's almost. But our trucks are grinding to a halt, and that's just a step removed from everything else failing. So the next step, of course, is to get everything working down near the coast. Just need to get that farther. Look at this, pick up slow troll, no fuel to refuel things. That's okay. Actually, I will pause rubber production for the moment. There you go, so divert all fuel to other purposes because we don't need it making rubber right now. We need to get everything functioning first. Okay, so I must admit, I actually did soft lock myself. It shows how precarious the entire situation was. Having the trading dock blocked off actually meant I couldn't get any fuel in, and then that, because I didn't get enough oil in through my cargo depot, I couldn't refine enough to supplement that to fill in along here to give me space to put the dock back in, because there was nowhere else I could put the dock in the first place. And it went round and round, the spiral went, and it finally gave way, very much so, in the form of all vehicles seizing up and maintenance going through the floor. So, with that said, we are now going to actually do this full bore, because we must, there is no other choice. Rather than putting in the water things, as you see, I've already got a dock moved forward, so that won't be blocked. I'm going to put in twin fluid extractors immediately. Quick deliver all of it. This is missing some parts. Apparently, it claims. What am I missing? Shouldn't be missing anything. Unless it's... oh, it's the 8.1 Unity. Right, yeah. Unity is still crashing. In part, it seems because waste collection is also backing up now because there's nowhere to put it. At least according to all. Oh, that's why. That's actually a slope. It's not meant to be a slope. There we go. That'll get waste moving at least. But we have. In fact, I had to roll back to before I even started building anything because that was the nearest autosave I had before things went sideways. This is now set at priority 6. There was actually a fuel tank, this tank down here, which was set to a higher priority, which is now removed. This thing is going to try to keep that in there at a new priority 5, so that is now the place to send fuel. And I'm going to dump out half of the fuel in here to try and keep things running. In theory, anyway. Needs 2.1. Thing is, we're draining steadily on Unity, so like 2 more trucks will be enough to deliver that, so that'll be built. And it will fetch 440 oil this time, at the very least. Well, at the very least, it will fix 440. Good. You're fully configured. Now go forth and get me that oil, please. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, that is off on its vital life support mission for me. You are clogged up on dirt because there's nowhere to put it. Everything is breaking. Yeah, the only place that's dirt to go is actually up here, but that now because of... Right, you see what I mean about there being too much dirt. Unless I build a stacker. I've never been quite sure of the point of the stacker. Also, it's slightly more than I can afford right this second. But dumps material from a conveyor belt directly to the terrain. I mean, all it does is like create a big heap of a resource, isn't it? For you to dig up later as needed. Probably best to put them retaining walls down to restrain where that will actually go. But might be worth having. Just as a dump out for these guys, at the very least. But yeah, that's now clogged up on dirt. I would say it to be a higher priority source of dirt for anything else. There we go. But please, please, oh trade ship, come back with my supply of vital black gold, the precious fluid which I require above all else. Speaking of, here it comes. Hi! I've not bothered to put down the storage silos on this one. This time because we can actually offload half of the tank's worth into these, and then that'll be priority shipped straight over to where our refinery is. And yeah, that's building flickered damage there for a moment because this was like spilling out that way from when it was being put down. Vehicles can remove from this, please, and thank you. Get that stuff shipped out. Interesting to note that even though they don't have any kind of exit pipe work connected to them, they by default will not do that. Look at the power generation statistics. We are running out real quick, but first shipments are on their way. Interesting, they're actually delivering them straight to those? Oh, these guys have a previous priority setting. Auto. If you'd be so kind. And yeah, that's way back when we first had a bit of a fuel crisis. The thing is that all this seems very familiar to me. Like, it's almost like we've had issues with fuel before. You know? It just feels so very familiar. Although no excavators, no fuel, cargo ships low on fuel. And this is, I'm going to actually tell you, oh, because it wasn't told to keep it, it's actually been emptied completely. This is where the trading dock comes in. I can get one more shipment of fuel for 100 coal. Make it count, guys. And for the love of God, give that thing more fuel. It needs it. Needs more fuel. Requires 138 per journey. Let's do it like that so that it will keep enough in the tank there for an immediate trip out. Also worth noting that these guys are absolutely full, but the track is actually completely full too. Sorry, this is like nursing this game along. It's like a very bad situation. Ocean access is blocked for... Oh! Ocean access is actually blocked for the main shipyard as well. I wasn't expecting that. I think it's the trading docks location that did it. So that corner bit there was a bit too much, really. Guys, come on. Get this stuff refined. Get it all sorted out. Keep that thing as near to full as damn it. All trucks that are free, go and grab oil. Because that is what needs to be funneled forward as much as possible. I mean, we've got the oil, we've got it all sitting here. The problem is we need to transport it. Oh, this is such a makeshift episode. Well, everything is struggling. Probably doesn't help that I've got research ticking away in the background. Actually, research has ground to a halt. What are we short on? Parts are short on iron. Iron is short on coal. Coal is blocked by dirt. I'm going to have to put dirt somewhere. In fact, how are we doing on limestone? Limestone we have a good amount of. I'm going to... Give me a sec. I'm going to repurpose some target zones here. That should about do it. Okay, because, well, this thing is really struggling to go. Especially this thing. Why has it got? It's got to the next turnaround. I'm slightly concerned about this part here, which, given how that part reacted, and that's like half the length, I think I'm going to have to realign it a bit just in the middle here. But you can see the path it's kind of set to take. I'm trying not to stray too much into deposits on this one, but it's still like a massive effort just to get up there. Even using the new witchcraft and wizardry of the leveling designation. Oh yeah, look at all that dirt all my trucks are dumping out, just to get that stuff sorted out. Okay, you are... okay. You are trying to get access. Why are you guys stuck? Oh, I think I see why. Okay, let's fill in that one there as well then. Because it seems like they can't get past this bit for whatever unknown reason. Yep, there, suddenly all the trucks are free. Off they go. Freedom! But I also notice this thing is not being refueled. I told it to be refueled, it's not being refueled. I'm going to... how are the generators doing? Generators have got their own internal tanks sorted out. I will go ahead and pause this one. Are you set to not allow unloading? You can unload. That's paused, so it's not taking any. That's now got its connection paused, so it's not going to do that as well. What was that? Burner? Okay, we can now burn our waste. Excellent. Now, any kind of production. I'm guessing that the oil production actually no, it wasn't being delivered. A lot of stuff was having trouble because coal wasn't being processed properly, but now that is actually flowing again. At the very least. Oops. The moment I say that, something goes wrong. Let's just designate all this along here. Because might as well. And I know the fields only go about as far as here. The rest of it probably not needed, but I do need to ship the dirt. And get that sorted. So, just put dirt there, guys, and we'll say it's good, okay? Okay? Cool. Go ahead. But I need to get this thing refueled. If I don't get that thing refueled, I don't get to go and do the thing. That's my problem. Coal supply is actually picking back up. Okay, coal. Let's get a double shot for 100 a pop. I know it's expensive, but I need the fuel. And at the very least, I need to get that oil tanker back out. It's a shame we can't actually pipe into the trading dock and export things through automatic means. Then I could just like plummet straight in, and fuel there will get priority into this. But nope, that's just not the way it goes. Come on, just a little bit more. I need 6 more fuel to go into that thing. 6. And my trucks aren't really delivering. I'm going to have to buy more, aren't I? Yes, I am. By the way, I love the fact there's a quick trade button down here. That lets me just do that. And I'm out of Unity. I can't trade. Bother. Okay, right. Fuel saver needed. Maintenance, shut it off. There's nothing else I can do to give way for it. I might be about to have another soft lock. I mean, I've got settlement water. I've got variety food and veg going on. I don't have much supply, but at least it's not breaking quite. But the fact I don't have electric, I think, is kind of causing me a lot of trouble. If I did have water and electric, I'd have higher fuel, but I'd have 50% increase in Unity output. But I need that Unity to make the trade. Dang it. Why is it things keep changing? Why does it just so much trouble? Look at there's so much stuff is not working. Yes, Unity. Right. Okay, Unity. We got Unity. We have the Unity. We will trade away precious resources for more precious resources, in the hope that one truck will deliver fuel. Yes, there it goes. That was within a hair's breadth of being another soft lock. Wow. Oh dear. And the sooner I get this automated so the refinery's not over there, the better, but that was just like nursing it through this. Sheesh. I've taken the unusual step of trading my construction materials to coal, and then coal to fuel, because basically all my trucks are out of fuel, and that was causing a little bit of trouble. Just a tiny bit of trouble. So yeah, we aren't out of the danger zone. This is just like completely mucked up. You are. I'm going to pause you again because you aren't. Actually, the thing is, I need to have a fuel station running because my excavators ran out of fuel. As you see, most of those aren't working, and so because the excavators weren't working, I stopped digging coal, and so I couldn't trade the coal for fuel, and then I couldn't. Yeah. Actually, that's the last of the oil pulled out. Are you ready to go? You need 104 fuel, which I have no idea what's where. Having my refinery all the way over here sucks so much. It's causing no end of trouble. And of course, because that's on, fuel isn't building up, and so it's not getting shipped out. I'll tell you to keep empty, actually. Well, actually, the dock should be priority ordering that anyway to get it out of there. But unless I can get the fuel where I need it, I'm just going to continue to have no end of trouble. How much is it to build a new refinery? Notice my yellow parts are actually okay. Maybe I should have done that to start with, just like get that. The problem then is I'd need to fuel it with water, but that was actually not so bad. But I need something better than what I had. Maybe I think maybe I need to reload again. I will try to save this situation though as it is, because as messed up as it is, we are still kicking, kinda. So let's add. You're full of stone. You just can't get to where you want to go, so I'm going to tell you to sort that out. I'm guessing there's some issue with access, so I'm going to put a ramp in just there. try and ease that, but I will also install an actual proper full-bore refinery in here, because I may have just... Actually, I may have traded away, but I've actually recovered my stocks of tier 1 parts. So actually, yeah, that's good. Let's do that. So, we're not going to try and do an efficient thing. We just need a thing that works. It's going to produce 48 plus 6. This takes 48 into 36 plus 12. So 1-to-1 ratio on those two. Got to remember, this has been absolutely ages since I did this. But that is 54 into 36, which is still better than the basic, which is 54 into 24. Increases my overall yield by 50%. So that is in itself, I should have done that long ago. Now, of course, it's going to make steam, and it's going to make sour water, which will need to be dumped. There is a dump available over here. I'm not quite sure if trucks can get at it, though. But I will tell it to accept sour water, too. But I might need to make a dump, but I just have nowhere to put a dump. So that might be another issue with how tightly packed everything is around here at the moment. Give me a sec. Well, it ain't pretty, is it? Especially compared to my later on refineries in the last series. It compares reasonably favourably to the one when I first put this stuff together. But yeah, anyway, I've had to re-jam myself back in as far as the I jammed myself back in as far as I redid. I reloaded save, not quite as far back, but a bit further back to buy myself extra time, which is once again proving to be the resource I kind of need the most. Because quite simply, everything was stopping, the diggers were stopping, everything was grinding to a halt again. Excuse me. So this episode has very much been on the razor's edge for the most part. But what I've got here is I've got coal boiler, a gas boiler which is intended for heavy oil? Heavy oil. Yeah, heavy oil. That one, I forgot that these are set to burn anything that comes to them. But I need them separated just to make sure that things keep flowing properly. While this one is meant to be doing light oil. There we go. Yep, this one's the coal, this one's the Kickstarter, and then it'll stop. We've got a merger in here which prioritizes incoming from the oil burners. So that will hopefully keep things running. And then we should be okay, in theory. Only thing is, it needs a steady supply of water to produce the steam. But that should be enough to trade the parts. I just need to get the tanker working, which is the big issue. So, I don't have the coal for that. I might have to trade away construction parts. As soon as I get this thing sorted out, I will trade away construction parts to try and get my hands on some fuel. But as you can see, if the tanker's not fueled, this refinery will split half of its output into the actual thing to help refuel it. And that, combined with the 50% increase in terms of efficiency this setup will offer, should make the difference. Though of course it will have to be sending its output over here to sour water dump. Hopefully the trucks can reach that. If they can't, I will have to build another storage tank over here as well, which shouldn't be too bad all told. Okay, right, so that's all sorted out. The only thing out right now is the actual trucks, so I'm keeping this going as fast as I can. I will reprioritize this one as well to get this one, like, coal goes over here before it goes anywhere else. I also short-stocked with 5 extra Unity, just to make sure, and hopefully this will be enough to at least balance the books and get everything back off the ground. Okay, we've got enough for that. I will trade away a couple of hundred for some extra fuel. You are on priority 5, so hopefully you will get at least sorted out a little bit. Trucks can import, yes. Notice that they're grabbing fuel and then they're going elsewhere, though. This one's grabbed fuel and it's taking it all the way to this one. Oh, okay. cancel that. There should be no orders trying to pull fuel away from here. Just to make sure that it goes to wherever it needs to be. And, oh, they're dumping. Okay. I did actually include a ramp this time, so hopefully it shouldn't have another problem like it did before, trucks getting stuck on the actual waterfront. But at the very least I can keep on dumping that stuff out. It's just that this stuff needs to get built. Where have all my tier 2 parts gone? Oh, my tier 2 parts have gone on the boilers. That might be a problem. Well, I'll get the bootstrapping boiler in first, but I didn't think I spent that many parts. Okay. Okay. Ah! At some point I paused production of tier 2 parts. That's why there's no more coming through. I swear. Taking parts of the factory offline through necessity and then being surprised and making a Pikachu face when things stop working as they're intended to, I should probably stop doing that, right? It's all to the good, right? Yeah. That said, though, that is why my tier 1 parts bounce back so fast, because I wasn't actually making tier 2 parts. Oy. No, tier 2 parts I could trade directly for fuel, instead of going through getting coal and an extra price increase. Yeah, I know it's getting expensive, but I need to get that tanker bat out to even get all of this stuff off the ground. I need the parts. No two ways about it. I need to get the parts. I'll stop you from offloading, so that won't. It'll stop sending parts out to here, and that means that it'll divert full tier 1 part production into tier 2 part production, and then hopefully get that built up really sooner rather than later, because I need the efficiency. 63 parts. Oh, I was misreading that rather badly. Also, I need a tiny bit more fuel. I was misreading it. I was misreading that as like 15. It's like, ooh, that's cheap. I can build that. No, it's the other way around. They are actually really flipping expensive. And having tier 2 part production paused has actually done me a massive disservice, which is a shame. But it's also like how it's kind of worked out. I'm gonna have to trade for some more stuff here. Just need to be careful not to completely deplete my coal reserve, because that's an ongoing issue. Oh, good. You're off. Thank you. Get more oil, please. Thank you. Are you guys still good for unloading? You are still good for unloading. Okay. I'm sorry. It's just like, I was planning to actually do better and do more stuff, but this turned into like an episode of like nursing the entire system along, trying to keep it from grinding to a halt time and time again. So much so, it's actually rapidly burning up the time I had set aside to record and edit and everything this episode. I might even have to push this back a day in terms of when it comes out, just because I won't have the time to finish editing before I have to head out to work. So it's just like, ugh. On the bright side, though, we aren't actually shutting things down. Kind of? I say that, but that's like 12 pickups, no fuel. There is oil is coming back in, though. Oil is coming back in. It is flowing. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, this just feels like it's such a hodgepodge of an episode. I don't like it when it feels like it's out of control like this, but it's also like a monument to all my sins, really, isn't it? Ah, there we go. It's working for the moment, at the very least. It's going to work until it's clogged up with light oil. But I'll unpause that. So I'm actually trading my future for my present in the form of I am demolishing the research labs, which have ground to halt anyway due to a lack of supplies. So I'm demolishing the ones that I built, 75 a pop. So I'm getting like maybe 50, 60 odd back. And that's enough to actually get this plant at least slammed together so it starts to function. And then with this functioning, there we go, that's light oil now being produced into steam. Of course, the merger prioritizes any kind of oil-produced steam to come in first. So that does that, and that keeps the entire system ticking over, with this acting as a supplement as required. And now, suddenly, we have fuel being produced in this area. Very good. However, we are out of oil at this point, because the oil that came in was dumped into the rest of the system. So I need to top this up one more time with a round of trading, and we should be good. Down to 100. Cool. Immediately get rid of that. And that'll refuel a whole bunch of stuff and also get the ship, hopefully, one more tanker. One more tanker, please. Come on. And sadly, all the diggers and things are coming over to get refueled. Come on, you know you want to give this ship one more load of oil. One more load of fuel, come on. No? Ah, you guys suck. Right. I'll trade away some tier 1 parts for a bit more surety in getting some more super expensive fuel. And that should be all we need. Because everything is like... I'm struggling to do everything. Good. Now... that's on its way. You are not going to export your oil via trucks. That is now stopped. So all oil will feed into the distillers for more efficient production. We're going to make sour water. Yes, that is true. But the 50% increase in yield should be enough to kick us back over into actual proper construction. This means we're also going to want to, I guess, continue to supplement this area by importing fuel over to it. But actually, all this stuff needs to be torn down. Empty that out. And no, you're not going to get any more oil for that one, so tear that one down too. Got in my mind is that the distiller setup will require actual. I will allow you, but you will, I guess, exist in situ for a little bit longer, and you'll be imported by truck. But most importantly, though, this thing is now starting to produce. And just to say that, we start to have a fuel issue. Okay, right. Right. Because this one needs to gather fuel to run its engines. That's one drawback of this, though. I guess it's more fuel intensive, isn't it? We don't have a good power plant yet, so we're trying to run this on existing reserves. Another round of fuel? Fine, another round of expensive fuel, I guess. There we go. Honestly, my food reserve has actually been okay. It's hovered around 5 or 6 months. I think the problem might be more that I can't actually properly keep it saved, you know? Also, I think, yeah, I'll just increase the priority for these so they've got power priority. So it keeps them going, keeps these chugging, keeps them sorting out. But these things dump at 110 per 110. These only consume at 54, so these will only take, if both the stacks of these will take the output of like one of these basically to operate. But in itself, that is not such a bad thing. The question is, do we have the parts? We almost do to get that rolling. And things are getting clogged by dirt again. Ah, my favourite thing that keeps backing up on everything. Sure. Dump some more dirt out. Dump some more stone out as well. Yep, that has also stopped doing stuff. And remember, we need to dig some stuff out of this one too. So it might be time to pull back some diggers off the coal pit, really. Because they have been doing sterling work on that. The coal pit is massive. It's my biggest single digging site in the entire area at the moment, I must admit. But honestly, getting this area plumbed in so that it can work on the... so that it can actually power the area as well, so that getting diesel generators built in here is probably an idea. But since we've got tier 2 parts being built, I think maybe the better idea would actually be to gather it. Let it gather. Well, so we need to stabilize the power situation first, which is proving to be a bit of an issue. You guys are delivering over there, right? You are, but everything is basically very, very low. I think we just flat out need to move the power generators on, actually. How much will it cost us to do that? Actually, more to the point, we could tap into the steam already here to try and get a power generator working here. But it would cost us a bunch of parts we don't actually have. Like 90 odd to get one turbine up. Consumption rate 24. We are full on gas. We're full on steam actually, so I'll tell you to priority out these two. But if you're full on steam, then are you guys getting full on liquids? You are actually. You're getting full on light oil. So I do need to have that bleed off in here actually to keep it running properly. Yeah, that's something I didn't consider. Lovely. That's goes into 6, that goes into 3. Yeah, we can go ahead and get a power generator in here as well. That way? That way. Yes, spin. Please save me from myself. Yes, I know there is space to get another one in there to run off the same turbine. That's just how it's going to have to be. So just install that one there. But that at the very least does mean that we have the excess oils now having a possible vent to keep it going. And remember, we still do have the initial bootstrap boiler ready to roll on that one. So that is also good to go. Just need this one to make full use of the potential throughput of this guy, though we are we making enough steam? This can take enough steam for like half of one of these. So we'll have to wait and see how much is needed. I mean, these only take 9 in total, and yeah, I had to tear that one back down again to get parts to get both of those ready to go in one go. Oh good, that's left, good. Also, we do have the sour water. Is that being dumped? That is wastewater. Is there something else coming? We're going to find out in a moment, aren't we? Well, in theory, anyway. Oops. Various trucks and things are coming down to here just to get refueled. But it's been a bit of a crisis episode just trying to get that sorted out. Honestly. I noticed that's not being unloaded. At least, actually, wait, no, some trucks are trying to get to it, but they are stuck? Really? Oh, it's that corner again. There we go, just fill that spot there, will you? That should fix it. But yeah, that's filling up. That's filling up. These guys are slowly ticking down. That's running. That is also in motion, but let's be fair, any more power we can get out of the system is good. We do need it. But I did completely forget, I admit, the fact that we need to bleed off steam from the system to keep these guys functioning. because burning the oil directly is just going to cause trouble. Now I've also got other things like tree harvesters are struggling to do stuff because there's no trees to harvest. Fine, I'll tell you guys some trees you can cut just to get you to shut up about it. Let's mark all those, though you probably can't reach the ones on top. And I'll also mark all of these just to clear it out. We're almost out of trees, by the way. We're going to think about planting pretty soon. Okay, that's those two done. Okay, what else we got? Not enough fuel. Excavators out of fuel. Pickups no out of fuel. Not enough maintenance. Ah, dang it. We have... Our Unity has increased slightly. We can actually reintroduce maintenance reduction to help with that one. But now we're getting back to the whole not enough iron side of things. Now what's been keeping iron is the lack of actual ore going into the smelters. But so even with enough ore going into the smelters, we've also had an issue with true smelting speed, which is why I think we do need to upgrade like an additional smelter I mentioned back at the start of this video. I've just not been able to free the attention up to do it because I've been nursing the game through a game potentially, a definitely game-ending issue of the fact I ignored fuel for too long. So yeah, which again I think I did last time as well. Wait, what? Coal power plant. Boiler connected to a groundwater pump. It's not connected to a groundwater pump. That detection on this is a bit weird, but I do have a pump connected to an outlet pipe, which is I guess what it's looking for. A loose storage with coal connected to a boiler. Again, I think it's just like a loose storage assigned to coal with an output. Loose storage is set to get coal. Yep. High pressure turbine. Yep. I wasn't expecting to get 80 points there, but I'll take it. Because if we are actually doing enough to get the ship going, we can use those to mostly get this thing back online to get the second stack firing and just produce more fuel, because we just need more fuel. End of the day. The entire episode's been about fuel. I think I'll just term it like we might be short of something. I think it's probably the best way to describe this episode, with a picture of the thing at the start there with like the fuel truck in the foreground looking kind of forlorn with nothing to do. But that said though, sadly, what I was worried about has come to pass, which is the fact that I won't be able to actually get this episode out in the time I want it to. Sadly. I just don't have the time to edit this before I go to work. There's just... time's completely gone. It's a shame, but it is what it is. It's how this episode has played out. Hope you don't mind this stream of consciousness kind of thing that's been going on. Was that you? Yep, that was you. Okay. The stream of consciousness thing that's kind of happened this episode, but honestly, with one of a bit of a nightmare trying to sort through with the fuel, it's kind of worked out that way. So hopefully now we can get enough iron plates to sort out the maintenance. I might have to add a connection in here just to dump more iron into the system from a smelter over yonder, but the thing is we're kind of not quite there, at least not right now anyway. I can get rid of some... Actually, that was probably a bad idea because we're kind of short on wood. Kinda. Yeah. We do need some more fuel, so a booster shot of fuel just to keep things ticking over at least. Like a massive shot in the arm of fuel. But we should be good. We should have saved it. We should be okay. Because we've got an extra power source, we've got extra oil production going on. 54, 12, 24, that's only half. 12 out of required 36, that's about half. I think I need a second high pressure turbine to keep up with all the byproducts being made by 2 stacks, but we'll have to see if the boilers choke up on... Sorry, if the distillery stages choke up on excess oils of various grades. That's it though. I do need to go now. So I have to stop. Yes, maintenance is completely shot, but we just enacted maintenance saver. And we are going to, I guess, try to prioritize... What is it you are short of? You require parts, but the parts aren't getting enough iron into them. That's just flat out what's going on. As well as the power issue as well. But yeah, this has been Mark 3. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Yes, bit of a wonky episode, I apologise, but that's just how it played out. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, gives you those virtual head pats I oh so crave. And I'll catch you all some other time, where hopefully I'll make a bit more sense and not make as much of a hash of it as I have in this one. But no promises. Yeah. See you all later. As I just quickly plumb this thing in. Anyway, yeah. Out of time, no closing thoughts. The episode shall end there. Hope you have a good day.